Welcome to LEWS Podcast. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something really foundational for success and maybe even more importantly, well-being. We're talking about the power of morning routines. We've gathered some fascinating insights for you. We looked at books like, James Clear's Atomic Habits, Robin Sharma's The 5 a.m. Club, Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning.
Some heavy hitters there.
Definitely. And we've also pulled in research from places like the American Psychological Association, Harvard Business Review, plus some really compelling real-life examples.
Yeah.
Our mission really is to pull out the key nuggets from all this, help you understand not just what successful people do in the morning, but maybe more the why. Why does it make such a difference? And crucially, how you can maybe apply some of this yourself.
And what's truly fascinating, I think, is how often this idea pops up. You see it across totally different fields: business, sports, creative art.
Everywhere.
It really suggests there's some kind of universal truth there about how we set ourselves up for the day ahead, which, begs the question, what is it? What makes these morning habits so potent?
Okay, let's unpack that. What is the big deal about mornings? You hear people talk about winning a morning, winning the day.
Right.
But it feels like more than just, dragging yourself out of bed early, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It's definitely not just about the alarm clock.
So what's the science saying? Is it about having superhuman willpower, or is there something else going on?
It's much more about this something else. It's really about working with our brain's natural systems, not against them.
Yeah.
Take dopamine, for example, that feel-good chemical. It's not just about pleasure. When you tick off a small positive task in the morning, could be anything, making your bed, drinking water.
Something tiny.
Yeah, tiny. You get this little dopamine hit. And that tells your brain, hey, that was good, do it again. It reinforces the behavior. And the real insight here, you see this in Atomic Habits, is how you stack these small wins. It creates this positive loop.
Right.
Each small success kind of builds momentum, like compound interest, but for your day.
So it's less about being incredibly disciplined all the time and more about setting up a system that makes discipline easier, less necessary, maybe.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. That's the difference between discipline and routine. A good routine reduces the need for constant willpower, which honestly is exhausting.
It really is.
Your brain goes into autopilot for those early tasks,
Yeah.
and that frees up your decision-making energy. It fights off what they call decision fatigue.
I've heard of that. Like, why lunchtime you can't even decide what to eat.
Exactly. Every little choice what to wear, breakfast, it drains you bit by bit. So automate the morning, save that mental power for the big stuff later. It reminds me of that John C. Maxwell quote, something like, you'll never change your life until you change something you do daily.
Yeah, that hits home. It's the dailiness, the consistency.
That's it. Small actions done consistently, they compound into something really significant.
Okay, so we've got the why. It's about brain chemistry, momentum, saving mental energy. Let's get into the what.
Sure.
When you look at these high performers, what are the common threads? What actually pops up again and again in their routines?
Right, the blueprint. Well, when you boil it down from the sources, a few key elements really stand out.
Okay.
First, and this one's probably obvious, is waking up early. The 5 a.m. club idea.
Right.
But it's not just about the time itself. It's about claiming that uninterrupted time, that quiet window before the world starts demanding things from you.
That piece, yeah.
Exactly. For deep work, or just for yourself. Second, there's often an element of silence or meditation. People like Oprah, Tim Ferriss, they make time for this.
Why is that so common, do you think?
Well, it seems to be about intentionally calming the mind, reducing stress before the day ramps up, kind of creating this inner calm space.
Okay, so you start from a place of center, almost. What else?
Third is usually some form of journaling or planning. Tony Robbins does this gratitude, goals, reflection. And it's not just scribbling notes. It's like intentionally programming your focus for the day, setting your intention.
Being proactive about your mindset.
Exactly. Then, fourth, almost always physical exercise. Think Barack Obama's morning workouts.
Gets the blood flowing.
Totally. It wakes up your body and your mind, boosts energy, focus. It just gets everything firing.
Yeah, I feel that difference when I manage it.
Fifth is often learning or reading. Bill Gates' reading every day is a classic example, even just 15, 30 minutes. It's that commitment to continuous growth.
Keeps you sharp.
Definitely. And finally, number 6, seems basic, but it's crucial. Nutrition and hydration. Starting with water, then maybe a protein-rich breakfast.
Fueling the engine.
Right. Sustained energy, good brain function. avoids that mid-morning slump.
So those are the building blocks. Did the more academic research back this up? Did it show other benefits?
It really did. The APA research, for instance, suggests morning people tend to be more proactive.
Proactive, how so?
Less just reacting to things, more anticipating, initiating, kind of shaping their day rather than being shaped by it.
Okay, taking control.
Yeah. And there was that Harvard biologist finding that early risers are better at anticipating problems and minimizing them. So it's not just doing more, it's being more effective, more strategic.
That sense of control seems like a really powerful underlying benefit.
Huge. It sets the tone.
Okay, talking about it theoretically is one thing, but seeing it in action, what were some of the real-life examples from the sources that really stood out? Maybe ones that showed different flavors of this.
Oh, the examples really bring it home. Take Tim Cook at Apple. Wakes up, 3:45 a.m.?
Wow, that's early.
Insanely early. He starts with email, then the gym, then coffee and news. His routine just screams discipline and strategic focus, getting ahead of the curve before the day officially hits.
It's handling the demands of that job, yeah.
Then you've got Michelle Obama, wakes around 4:30 a.m., workout, meditation, but also, importantly, breakfast with family.
Ah, so it's not just about work.
Not at all. Hers is a fantastic example of self-care and balance. It shows success doesn't mean sacrificing well-being or connection. She builds those in right at the start.
That's a really important point. It counters that grind culture idea sometimes associated with early morning.
Absolutely. And then for pure intensity, you look at Kobe Bryant, a true 4 a.m. club guy. Those legendary early morning gym sessions.
Before anyone else was even thinking about practice.
Right. That wasn't just physical. It was about forging that mental toughness, that competitive edge, starting in the quiet dark. His whole mindset was built on that morning foundation.
You can see how that would build an almost insurmountable advantage mentally.
For sure. And finally, someone who made it really accessible is Hal Elrod, the miracle morning guy.
Right. The Savers method.
Exactly. Silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, scribing, journaling. What's inspiring about him is he developed this after major adversity. And his structured approach has helped so many people. It proves these principles aren't just for CEOs or athletes. They're adaptable.
That's key, isn't it? Because it can feel intimidating looking at someone like Tim Cook, but Elrod's method and seeing the variety shows it's about the principles, not necessarily the exact schedule.
Precisely. It's about that intentional start, building momentum, finding your way to take control of the first part of your day.
Okay, so that brings us to the practical side. What does this mean for us, for you listening? It can feel, well, overwhelming thinking about starting something like this, especially if mornings are already chaos.
Totally understandable.
How can someone listening begin to build their own winning morning routine without, feeling like they have to become superhuman overnight?
Right. And this is the most important part, I think. The absolute key is start small. Really small.
Okay.
Don't try to implement all 6 things we just talked about on day 1. You'll burn out. Pick just one.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2 tiny habits.
Like what? Give me an example.
Like maybe just commit to drinking a glass of water right when you wake up. That's it.
Yeah.
Or 5 minutes of stretching. Or writing down one thing you're grateful for.
Just one thing.
Just one tiny thing. Build that consistency first.
Yeah.
Get that small win. Then maybe add another small thing next week or the week after. Momentum over perfection.
I like that. Momentum over perfection.
Wait, what else? Second, and this is fundamental, you have to think about sleep hygiene. Waking up early starts the night before.
Right. Can't cheat sleep.
You really can't. Prioritize getting enough quality sleep. It's the bedrock. Everything else is built on that.
Makes sense.
Third, prepare the night before. This is huge for reducing that morning friction, that feeling of, I don't want to.
Yeah, making it easier on your future self.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lay out your workout clothes, pack your lunch, fill your water bottle, make a simple to-do list for the next day. Just remove those tiny decision points that drain energy when you're groggy.
Again, start small with this too. Just one thing.
Absolutely. Just pick one thing tonight that will make tomorrow morning slightly easier. Fourth, and this is a tough one for many, avoid your phone for the first 30 minutes.
Oof. Yeah. That's hard.
It is. But resist checking email, news, social media right away. Give yourself that first half hour to be intentional, to focus on your priorities before the world's demands rush in. Create that little sanctuary.
Protect the first part of the day.
You got it. And finally, maybe track your progress. Use an app or just a piece of paper, ticking off that box, seeing a street built.
That little dopamine hit again.
Exactly. It provides positive reinforcement. It makes it feel good. But remember, the goal is gradual, sustainable change. It's not about being perfect. Every day you do even one small thing is a win.
That's a much more encouraging way to look at it.
Yeah, because those small wins, they really do add up. They compound into something pretty transformative over time. So if we tie it all together, these morning routines, they aren't magic. They're not about finding the one perfect schedule.
Right.
They're really about building momentum, creating this positive ripple effect that carries through your whole day. It affects your productivity, sure, but also your mood, your sense of control.
Your overall feeling about the day.
Exactly. And you don't need to copy Tim Cook or Michelle Obama. The real victory is designing your own winner's morning, something that works for you, your energy, your goals. Just remember that mantra. Small, consistent actions always beat occasional big efforts in the long run.
That's powerful. So as you go about your day to day, maybe think about that. Think about tomorrow morning. What's one small, tiny, positive change you could make in those first few minutes after waking up?
Yeah.
What little habit could start that ripple effect for your day? We challenge you. Pick just one or two things we talked about, something small, and try it for a week. Just see what happens.
See how it feels.
Exactly. See the impact for yourself. And we'd genuinely love to hear about it. Share your experiences, your insights, what worked, what didn't on social media. Use the hashtag #WinterMornings.
Let us know what stands out to you.
Yeah, what are you excited to try? What resonates? Thank you so much for diving deep with us today.